Any other question? Yes, Sir Detuya, from the College of Commerce.
I've read some books, modern books, picking up some lines from classic books written in the 17th century, 18th century, without even recognizing those books. Is there copyright infringement? Because I understand the copyright is good for a given period. And after the lapse of that period, are we free now to pick some lines from the book without copyright infringement? Although there is an issue of plagiarism there, which is different from copyright infringement. So yun ang tanong ko. Are the classic books, the ones written in the 17th century, 18th century, which are still good books to read, still protected by copyright, or if not protected by copyright, what is the way to regulate the use of these books without acknowledging the books?
Buti na lang, ready ako sa IPR. Buti na lang, public domain. Okay. Sige, balikan po natin. Medyo naging komportable na ako talaga. Kung kayo, well, pag-usapan po natin muna yung buhay. Ang copyright po kasi, habang buhay ang author or publisher, sa kanila pa po yan. Once copyrighted siya, pag namatay po ang author or publisher, ang ownership po nito ay 50 years after na namatay siya. So pagkatapos po nito, free na siya, public domain. Okay. So, ergo, yung sinasabi po natin classic, yung mga noon-on pa, that's public domain.
So pwedeng kopyahin na?
Pwede na pong kopyahin.
Not even acknowledging?
That's free use. Of course, better na ilagay din po natin para maging aware ang mga reader ay ano pa pala, kanyang gawa pala to o kinote pala kay ganitong person.
So you may or may not?
Yes. Pwede po.
But there is an issue of plagiarism there.
Yes, that's another issue. Iba po, labas po yan sa sa copyright, IPR. Ang mandate po kasi ng IPR, yung yung ownership po ng mga konsepto.
And the same thing holds true with songs.
Yes, yes sir. Ganun po lang. At marami po tayong institution na nagtatrabaho sa implementing rules and guidelines po niyan. Iba pong usapin sa visual arts, iba usapin sa music, iba usapin sa animation. Meron po yan, no? So ang sinasabi po nating IPR and copyright, that's generic. Pero meron po mga institution and agencies na nagpapatakbo at nagpapalakad ng kanyang sarili-sarili implementing rules and guidelines.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am Persia, do you have any question for this time? Ma'am Persia. This is the one who led us in the tour, remember?
Ano lang, there were so many questions earlier and then I believe that they were also answered by you. Ano lang ma'am, we were thinking of, like, just like the rest also who expressed like they are now interested into doing community research. Can I say that this is action research? Yeah. My question is there already a study for we were thinking, my partner and I is thinking about or both of us are thinking of going into the Mamanua, somewhere in Surigao, so we go into immersion with their culture perhaps. Is there already a study on that? In that, with the tribe?
Alam niyo po, ang pansin ko rito sa atin, sa Pilipinas, halos, kasi ang gagaling ng mga Pinoy, marami na pong study. No? Well, ang ano lang dito, ang masasabi ko lang, kung na-publish na ba siya, or kung hindi pa na-publish. So, yun yung usapin dito. Siguro, kung na-publish na siya, at na-submit sabihin natin sa national library or copyrighted, that's Googleable. Yan. Or another way of checking kung merong publication, release mo din sa community.
Okay. Thank you ma'am. Pero may ano ba ng site na parang makikita namin yung list, yung parang na-research na?
Wala pa po tayong ganung capability dito sa
Database.
Wala po tayong
database sa Philippines.
And Siguro ang sabihin ko lang sa mga kabataan dito, hindi lahat ng makikita sa internet ay tama.
Opo.
Please pakibasa at tanungin ang mga teacher.
Talaga. Last na lang po. May standard na you've been researching for several years, right? International and local. May standard ba talaga isasubmit pag mag-propose? Like, the components that would contain? That would be my last question. Thank you.
Yung aking experience with my organizational involvement, na ang linya po nito, ang magiging output nito ay isang production or performance, pero research pa rin ang kanyang
So this is with CCP.
Not CCP kasi hindi siya mandate, pero pwede na rin, ginagamit din namin yan. Hindi kailangan mahaba, kailangan simple lang. Direct to the point, meron kang title, meron kang objective, may content ka, sino katrabaho mo, ganun lang. So that will, sabihin natin, minimum 3 pages, maximum 7 to 10, ganun. Yan. Ganun lang po, no? Tsaka kasi hindi naman po yung sa amin hindi naman ito yung hindi padamihan ng pages eh. Kailangan husay ng trabaho mo. At pag binasa ng reader, maintindihan niya. Yan. So kung kanino mong organization or agency isasubmit, dapat naka-align sa kanya. So kung ang pagsasubmit ang mga organization, artistic, medyo wag naman ang presentation ay very academic or research. Dapat artistic din para ma-appreciate niya. Pero kung academic siya, yan, sige. Pahabaan, pakapalag, di ba? Kung ano pang palabok.
Okay. Sorry for the laughter. Charlton, do you have any question? I understand you're the partner of Miss. Okay, please approach the mic and ask your question.
I don't have any additional questions.
Okay. How about Ma'am Jessica, Sir Chris, and the other teachers who are here? I just can't mention the names because, Ma'am Jess Abenido. This is my partner.
Raise your hands, please. Sorry. For the benefit of the students present here this afternoon, just would like to, from your point, Ms. Nico, the marriage between investigative report and research. Do the reporters go into the field with research first in mind and then the output, the investigative report second? Or is it the other way around? Or do they go to the field with these two things at hand? Like, I'm just curious. Okay, I'm just curious. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, tandaan niyo yung trabaho nila Cheche, nasa yan ng investigative report. Pero yung mga present, current po natin ngayon, ano na yan dikta na yan ng mga pangailangan ng audience. Yan, ano po yan. Pupunta po sila sa field dahil yun yung hinahanap clamor ng audience. Yun po yun. May research pero ibang angulo ng kanilang research. Yun, binanggit ko po yung kanina, siguro yung mga trabaho nila Cheche. Yan. Nandiyan pa yung mga produkto natin na Jessica, sila Howie, sila Love. Pero syempre, na sila ngayon medyo nakasakay na sila sa, yun. Naintindihan niyo na po yan.
Okay, any other question? Ma'am Joanne De Catalina from NPCOP and Sundaval. Isa pa. Students, what about Janina? Do you have any follow-up or the rest of the students here? The C brothers, do you have any question? Oh, Ayan, you're into music and sound. Okay, ano bang gusto mong i-study sa audio? Baka may tanong ka kay Miss Nico, magtanong ka, meron bang audio engineer or audio expert doon sa CCP? Yes, Sir Charlton, come here.
Charlton. I have a question. Is it applicable to use the qualitative content analysis in, if you're going to research, if you're going to focus on, let's say, the arts and the culture of a certain tribe? Let's say, you're going to study the culture, the heritage of a certain tribe, and just you're not going, probably you can go to the field, but you can actually go to a library and get all the copies of let's say, the Tarangin, and you just focus on the content. So it's going to be textual, and you focus more on the content. Is it doable, or?
Pwede naman po. Bakit naman hindi? No? Maraming paraan kasi. Lalabas ang uniqueness ng content ng research mo. Pwede naman yun.
Pwede. So, it's
Pero
okay.
syempre, mas for validation purposes, kailangan pumunta ka.
Punta sa
Kung gusto mong madalian na materials, gawin mo yun. Pero magandang balikan mo rin para matuto ka sa community.
And generally, Ms. Zapata, is it okay if you try to, because in my thesis, I actually, my study is a fusion of communication and literature. Is it already a practice, or is it in the field of research you really have to be focused? If your major, let's say, is literature, you focus on literature. You cannot, let's say, use mass media in your study of literature.
Wala, old ano na yan, old school yan.
Yes.
Ngayon yung fusion, yan ang ngayon. No? Ikaw, yan yung unique result ng inyong research. Ikaw yun, kung magawa mo yun,
Yung
maganda.
output.
Ikaw yun.
Thank you for giving me hope. Okay? because I really
Focus na pala.
Yes, I'm actually trying to tell my thesis advisor that it's doable, and yes, but it seems like at this point in time, my thesis advisor is not yet too convinced. So,
Dapat palitan mga advisor siya na.
O, siya na nagsabi.
thank you, Ms. Zapata.
Teka, ayusin natin.
Nakakatakot tuloy, no? Ano?
Remember, no? Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina. Minsan kasi, ang pagkakaroon ng advisor is a choice or parang it's
It
a
was an
choice
accident.
or aksidente lang yan. Kasi sa'yo yan, no? Diba?
Yes, because as a researcher, I really want to follow my heart. I want to really conduct a study that I know I can do and I'm interested in. Okay, I don't want my thesis advisor to. Yes, I want his guidance, but I don't want him to do the study for me.
May I, kung gusto mo makatapos, sige, sundin mo muna
Yes,
siya.
that's
Sundin mo muna siya, dahil yan naman ang passion mo, balikan mo ulit. So that's another edition of your book, of your material. O, di ba? Meron kang volume 2, another volume 3. Sa'yo yun.
yes.
Trabaho yan.
Thank you, Mr. Bata. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Charlton.
From the students?
Yes. Mga estudyante, may mga tanong ba? Yes.
One more from the faculty.
Okay, from the faculty member.
Before,
I research. It's all about business and going into the corporate world. And then since the talk is about culture, and I think there is a linkage between culture and business in some ways. So I am just curious because when I was in UP, I wrote a paper on country branding. I was wondering if that falls within the linkage towards culture and business.
Pwede po, kasi sa scene ngayon, mayroon ang tinatawag na allied arts. Nakakonnection doon. Pwede.
Yeah, because that paper came out when katong nag-fail, when the Wow Philippines last year, I think, failed in branding our country. So I made a paper comparing one country to another. So, and what are the other topics, potential topics that we can link business and culture together?
Creative industry.
Creative industry, okay.
That's business and culture.
Yeah, because I was also thinking of writing about that one, especially in Cebu, where in creative industries,
Yes, lakas. Creative industry.
you have furnitures and fashion. So, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Madness.
is actually promoting the creative industry. So if you want to do a study related to that, you can also refer to our DTI office, the regional office of Mrs. Melia Navarro, because they are promoting that. And maybe they can do something to help us and be able to publish your paper for our collective journal.
Alright, so that's it. And may iba pa bang tanong? Si Ma'am Jess, meron pa ba? Or a follow-up from Cliff? May follow-up si Cliff? Okay, Cliff.
Just for the benefit of the students, how can we differentiate a student's thesis to a dissertation to sa kanang PhD, and then a masteral thesis? What's the difference between these three? Is it the number of pages there? Yo?
Paano ba natin sasabihin? Okay. Sige. Sa akin kasi, ang pagkakaintindi ko, pag sinabi nating PhD or doctoral, well, sabihin natin, simpleng usapan lang to, national ang scope mo. National scope mo, of course, may focus din. Pag sinabi nating yung masteral thesis, ano yan, medyo angat ka naman doon sa yung graduate, undergrad thesis, tapos hindi naman national scope, pero focus din siya. Ngayon, pag sinabi natin undergrad thesis, ito yung talagang focused. So, how should we say? Hard.
Sa scope siguro ang diferensya.
Sa scope siya, ang difference nito eh. Tsaka syempre, in terms of respondents and informant, ano rin yan, doon din magkakaiba rin yan. Siyempre, pagka PhD, dissertation, mas dahil national, dapat mas marami. At saka dapat well-represented. Yan. Yun yung...
May I add?
Should that also be the thrust in dissertation that you have to add new knowledge to the discipline?
Correct.
And that's why the scope has to be broad, because the likelihood of coming up something new is higher if you cover a broad scope.
Correct.
Okay.
Kasi lalabas na rito yung theory. Theory ng author and publisher.
Yeah, I would like to add to that also because in the training that we actually attended, it was discussed by our facilitator. He really gave us a distinction between the thesis and the dissertation. This is how he simplified it. With the thesis for masteral, you are going to validate a theory. It doesn't matter whether your thesis is going to be 10 pages or 100 pages, but for as long as it validates the theory. For dissertation, it's no longer validation of the theory, but theory generation. So, that's the difference. So, hindi napakapalan talaga. As of this time, even in the academe, there's no longer a need for so many pages. For as long as we can, we will be able to come up with a contribution to new knowledge. That's fine. So we need to really enrich the creativity of the students. No, give them the freedom to also enhance their skills.
They qualify lang natin na if your teacher tells you, the research teacher tells you na, okay, it's like this, the parts of your research must be this, siguro, because he or she is your teacher, comply. That's also, kasi mahirap.
Comply muna.
Yes, comply muna because your objective is, oh, but one thing sure, I won't demand pages or number of pages as teacher, as a research teacher. Sure yan, Nico? Okay. May iba pa bang tanong from Agnes? From students? Sharp, do you have a follow-up? Or yes, Ma'am Jess?
Just a short rejoinder. I agree 100% when you say, if you want to finish, you really have to be obedient and really be... Yes, I agree, and I agree, and I agree.
Thank you.
And I agree. But if that's your passion, then later on, when you're done with the requirements, you can do it on your own. And based on my experience, I have been with mentors who are very good, and when you get to meet other people who have different views, I would say they are the authority, I would follow, and then I learn more, and then I move on.
Thank you. That's the good attitude, no? Positive. No? Kailangan ba yan ng researcher na dapat positibo ka sa mga ginagawa mo, Nico?
Actually, kailangan. Mahirap ang pag-research, ha? Bawal ang negative vibes. Pag nag-research ka, dapat open, positive. Yan, laging masaya.
Okay. So take it from Nico. Maybe with that, Ma'am Agnes would like to end this forum. And so it's time to turn you over to Ma'am Joanne de Catalina. And I'd like to request way ahead of time, in lieu of Father Bulimia, I would like to request Sir Edgar Latuya.
Okay, indeed, research is very exciting. And what I learned from her is that we have to be immaculate. We have to verify, we have to clarify, because as a person working on my dissertation, I'm also trying to negotiate with the people, the members of the panel, because they have suggestions which are not really that feasible, so I have to negotiate. So nothing will be made impossible if we are going to communicate and to really listen to each other. So dialogue or trialogue is really necessary when we make research, and that is the most important thing that I learned from Miss Nico. So we come now to the awarding of certificate and token of appreciation to our resource person. So as mentioned by Sir Robert, Sir Edgar Lituya will be here to assist Sir Robert in the giving of certificate and token. And of course, we also have Dr. Persia Leite.
Ma'am Agnes, can you join us as well? Because it's actually with the research.
Okay, and also Mrs. Agnes Sikenyo. Okay, the people involved are really very excited to prepare something more meaningful for our resource person. Shall we give her a warm applause, please?
And then from USJ-R. Okay, picturean muna tayo.
May I request the other faculty members to come up on stage for the pictorials?
Jess, Chris,
Sir Charlton.